Hey, yo, MB.
Yo, what's up, Joey Crack?
Yo, MB, it's so hard to follow up. Friday, I had Chris Brown. It's so much of a hard act to follow to come up behind Chris Brown, but I thought I'd call my other light-skinned brother to come shut the shit down. What's going on, Amp?
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, MB, let me tell you something, man. I got to be honest with you, man. There's so much to talk to you about. When you started in Queens, who opened the doors for you? Who set it off for you? Or who paved the way for you?
My brother Clue. You know, I tell the story all the time. I was at that bus stop waiting for the bus. It was cold outside, freezing. I'm holding my bag and I'm swaying back and forth, trying to get a little warmth. And I see this 3 Series pull up with BBs on it, silver. So I'm looking, I'm like, who is this? I look, and it's my friend Ernesto. Me and Ernesto used to play ball. We used to ride bikes. So I walk over to the car and I'm like, yo, what are you doing to make money? And he was like, I'm a DJ. I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm like, nah, really, what you do? He was like, I'm a DJ. Come to my house after school. So after school, I go to his house, knock on the door. His mother opened the door. He's downstairs. I go downstairs and I just see like thousands of records, hundreds of tapes, tape decks, all types of duplicating machines. I'm like, who are you? He was like, I'm DJ Clue. And that just gave me...
Had you been listening to his music and just didn't know Ernesto was DJ Clue?
I was selling his mixtapes in my high school. I was bootlegging him to make some money. I had no idea he was in, because remember, at first nobody knew who Clue was. It was just that little question mark.
You know, 1 second, this could be a Joprah moment for you guys. We sold the first DJ Clue mixtape in the Bronx. You can ask him if you want.
Yeah.
We also on Southern Boulevard. We sold the first DJ Clue mixtape. But continue, my brother. Continue. I got another one for them. Clue hates to tell the other story, but go ahead.
So when we so I started. I was like, I want to do this, and I just started trying to buy equipment. I would go back into school with my friend, because at first I wasn't Envy. I was DJ Shrimp, because I was only 5'4". So at first my name was DJ Shrimp, and my friend that I went to high school with, you know, my parents would give us like $2 for food. Like, you know, back then you get $2 to get like a little snack of food.
I got one. I got one.
You got one?
Hero spice ham and cheese, quarter water, bag of chips. Keep it pushing, Poppy.
Right. So what I did, he saved his money, I saved my money. We came together after school. We would buy 1 record a day. And we just kept buying 1 record and buying 1 record and buying 1 record until we was able to start really practicing and making some money.
Yo, you know, my other story, I got to say it, even though it's been told before, but my other claim to fame, I don't think Clue ever liked me again after I said this, right?
What?
For real. You know how when people don't really like you, but they say what's up and they show you. I'm in the club USA, and Notorious B.I.G. runs down on me. He had a vest on with a lumberjack shirt.
Right.
He shows me the gun. It's a deuce. And he said, yo, you seen that nigga Clue in here? I'm looking for Clue. And I was like, nah, I ain't seen. And I knew Clue. I just told you I used to sell his tapes. So I was like,
right.
nah. And he ran through the crowd looking for Clue, because I think, shout out Jim Jones, I think Clue was like selling, you know, he's putting his shit exclusives on the tape. Ever since I told that story, Clue was like, yo, man, how you gonna tell niggas Clue that Biggie was looking for me? But, you know, that's how I got on. So you started in the mixtape circuit.
Started doing mixtapes. That got me into DJing. I didn't start mixtapes. I started battling. I wanted to battle. So when Clue was doing all the DJing, I said, you know what? I'm a battle. Juice just came out. All the DJs spinning. So I started doing tricks. I did my first battle. Practice all night. Practice for weeks. And I won. At the end of the night, they was like, you won? You battled? Da-da-da-da. Here's $50.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, nah. I was like, this is not why Clue was driving that BMW. And after there, I just started with the mixtapes, and then it went from there.
You know, were you born rich?
Me?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
So your parents weren't rich?
Nah, middle class.
Thank God they were middle class. There's nothing wrong with being middle class. Because I swear to God, Envy, I hate when people do it to me, but I've been trying to count your money for so long. And I say, yo, his parents was billionaires. Like, I'm trying to make sense of, fucking, let's get to it. Your wife having 10,000 Birkin bags, you buying a new car every day. Yo, Envy, man, I'm trying to figure this math out. There is no other DJ besides Khaled, but Khaled's going 10 platinum. He's on every commercial. Circles, Devin. We can see where Khaled's getting all this bread from. But what's man? We'll go there, right? Let's go back. So you but that's in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's in my mind. I want to know what kind of hustle.
Okay.
And the show is really you've been watching since I started, is get people over Corona. You know what I'm saying? And just empower our people, because sometimes our people I had to see Lord Finesse become successful as a rapper before I could get involved and believe it's true. So shout out Crazy Legs, Jim Jones. But I like to give people stories of inspiration. Because mm-hmm. people, you can give them something and they'll light their light bulb up and they can change their life forever. Right? So now you making mixtapes, you DJing. What lands you on the radio?
So I was my first time on the radio was Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. So I used to listen to them as a kid going to school. And one day I called the radio, just the number. I still remember the number to this day, 800-223-9797. I called the number. What up, y'all? What you got to say? Who's on the line with Ed, Lisa, and Dre? So I was like, yo, I'm DJ Envy. We from the same hood in Queens. I want to DJ on the radio. So Ed Lover says, yo, if you come to the station right now, I'll put you on. 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, bet, I'm on my way. But I'm not realizing that it's traffic. So it took me, and when I say we dipping in and out, cutting cars off. So it took me about an hour to get there, maybe 50 minutes, and he let me DJ on the radio. So he didn't even know me. We didn't even know each other. Put me on the radio, and me and DJ D-Life from Queens, he just started saying, go. So I started DJing on the radio. I'm nervous. This is my first time. After that, I was like, this is what I want to do. And that was my first time on radio, ever.
Man, that's a fucking amazing story. I never heard no shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because everybody got their story. So when you get into radio,
right,
at Hot 97, how did that come about? So you got a taste of it and you was like, yo, this is what I want to do.
Right. So DJ Thorough, rest in peace. They did a show called Taking It to the Streets where they took 4 of the hottest DJs that they said in New York City and put them on radio.
They used to have the drop, take it to the streets.
Yeah, exactly. And the 4 DJs that they took was K Slay, Who Kid, Thorough, and Green Lantern. At the time, they said I wasn't hot enough. So I'm tight because I'm doing mixtapes, so I'm tight. Thorough, I believe, got in a motorcycle accident and passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Open up that spot. They called me. I started doing shifts on radio. So me, I'm always the person that like to ask a lot of questions, no matter what it is. Like, when I was at your sneaker store, I'm asking questions because I just want to calculate and see if it's worth me or the way my mind works. So I asked mad questions. And at the time, the program director was Tracy Clardy. Now, Tracy, she was mean. She was
a bad girl, man.
She was mean. But
I would kiss her ass. It would get me nowhere. You remember going in the office seeing that big giant teddy bear that she had?
Yeah.
I bought it for her.
You did?
It meant nothing. It still meant nothing. Like, I try to gas her. This game is politics. I'm like, yo, Tracy, happy birthday, because she used to have the stuffed animals.
Yep.
I bought this shit from FAO Schwartz. That shit was like a couple of grand. Meant nothing. It meant nothing.
She was serious, but when I told her I wanted to do radio, she taught me how to do it. Like crash course, like call me, what the fuck are you doing? You don't read it like that? You do this, to the point where you want to leave crying. But it built you to what you are. Angie Martinez came one day and she was pregnant and had to take maternity leave. So what they did was they put me in her shift because I was the only jock that was there all the time, knew what I was doing. So she said, Envy, I'm going to start you off in Angie's show today. I was like, bet. My first guests were the Roots. I didn't know anything really about the Roots.
So you was talking.
Yes.
This
But
the first time you got to like ask questions.
Absolutely. But they was mad because they thought they were seeing Angie Martinez, not this little mixtape thing. So now I'm asking questions like, so, how, break down making the new Roots album. It was great. Like, to the point it was like awkward and uncomfortable. After the interview, Tracy was like, nah, this ain't for you. We got to get you another shift. She moved Sunny to afternoons and put me to middays. And I started doing middays. And that was my start on Hot 97.
Yo, Envy, ain't it crazy when you get a guest? Like I had Adrian Broner on here one day. And he's usually so animated. He was answering the shit. Gilly from Philly. And Amy, it's a hard interview when they just go, yup.
Yep.
And you're like, yeah, because that now you gotta dance and shit. You gotta pull a fucking rabbit out the hat.
Absolutely.
Talk about the moons, stars, and because motherfucker don't want to talk today.
Yep. And that's what happened. I was done. There's nothing I could do.
So you get on the radio, right? So now you're part of the Hot 97 staff, right? And I don't want to elaborate. Now, matter of fact, we're not giving no time to that. Like we ain't giving no time to that, right? Mm-hmm. But you're in the Hot 97, right? And you, Angie, all you guys, I know because Khaled's my little brother. So Khaled would do 99 jams. I don't give a fuck if Khaled caught corona. He'd be in that DJ booth with a ventilator because he didn't want the next DJ to take his slot on the radio. I'll be like, yo, Khaled, let's go on tour. He'd be like, nah, they're going to take my slot.
Absolutely.
And did you feel like that? Shout out Pat Poose, our brother. Did you feel like that when you was DJing up there? Like, yo, the day I take off, somebody going to take my spot.
No, but I was looking at other DJ spots. Like, I'm like, if y'all take a day off, I'm taking that spot. I never took a day off. Most people don't know. I slept at the station for like every night because I would leave the club at 4 or 5 in the morning and then got to be on the radio at 6. So I slept in the station. I had a bedroom, a bed, lamps, night, all that there. Mm-hmm.
Damn, I ain't know that shit. You was on some big pun shit. Pun used to have a bedroom in the studio. Mm-hmm. Like Sony Studio have a bedroom and then record and then, he didn't want to leave the studio. So you go, boom, the day, the new six. So for y'all don't understand New York City, Hot 97 was the king of hip hop in the whole world.
Absolutely.
So if you wanted to go viral, it was no Twitter, it was no Instagram, it was no nothing. If you wanted to diss somebody, you diss them on there. And they heard it all the way in Cali in 1 minute. It was like the spot.
Correct.
The moment they approach you and say, yo, we want to hire you at Power. What are you thinking when they come to you and they say, yo, Envy, you and Angie?
Right.
Right? Because I'll give you something. They came to me. When DJ Khaled was at 99 Jams and they opened up Power over here, they came to me and offered me to tell Khaled that they were going to pay him $1 million a year to leave 99 Jams to come over here.
Wow.
They made me the offer. I went to Khaled. Khaled was like, yo, I can't diss 99 Jams. I'm not going. He said, I'm not falling for that. What made you, and not only you could be turning your back on Hot 97, but at the same time, you could be taking a chance.
Mm-hmm. Now, nobody knows the story.
Huh?
Nobody knows the story I'm about to tell you now.
This is the Joprah moment, baby. This is what I get to, baby.
So at this time, I'm doing a show called The New at 2, right? It's on from like 2 to 2:20. Nothing but exclusives in the afternoon. I did that for like 6 months. but I wanted something more. I wasn't doing mornings. I wasn't doing middays. I wasn't doing nothing. I was just doing that little spot. Power came to me and said, hey, you know, we want you to come on our team and come over here. So I went to Ebro at the time. Ebro was the program director. And I said, now mind you, I didn't want to leave. I was just using it as they want me. You better give me something better or I'm out. And at the time, Ebro was like, you gonna go over there? Because at the time, Power was trash. It was the secondary station, and you knew it was the secondary station. And he was like, you gonna go over there? And I'm like, yeah.
Sorry, because Hot 97, 99 Jams, certain stations are the heritage station where people's mothers used to listen to that station. And then, you know, so you got to understand there's a certain loyalty to a grandfathered station. It was very hard to take these guys out. You know, it's almost impossible. But go ahead. So Ebro said, you're going to go over there?
He said, you're going to go over there?
Like, yeah, I'm going to get my own show and get rich, motherfucker.
Nah, so Ebro was like, well, let me call management and see if we can move some things. They called management. He was like, there's nothing we could do. So I was like, all right, I'm out. So I just actually walked out of there and walked to Power 105 because it's right down the block. And I told him, I just quit the other station. Let's go. He was like, oh, you quit? Hold on. Here's the contract. And most people don't know, I made less money when I went to Power than I went at Hot 97. Made less money, but I knew I could get. I seen what Hot 97 was doing at the time. I seen what I liked, what I didn't like, what I liked about the DJs, what I didn't like about the DJs. So when I got to Power, I was like, I'm just gonna make this I'm gonna try to help make this the biggest station ever. And we just started attacking. It was Pro Style, it was me, it was Clue, it was Self. Now we were the 4 DJs in New York running New York, besides Camilo. And we was like, fuck it, we gonna ride. And we just rolled. They came to me one day and was like,
it was a different situation for Pro Style, because Pro Style had Orlando's, he had his foot in their ass. Pro Style was getting the bag. Yo, Pro Style was doing birthday parties in stadiums in Orlando.
I know.
Like, I couldn't understand why he would leave. You know, why would Pro Style leave? But the move you made, you said, listen, here I'm a regular DJ fill-in. Here I'm going to have my own slot, and I can start a new regime.
Right.
And we all know that the radio job for most people, not you now, but for most DJs and all that, is it's just the slot.
It's just
to where they could hire you at clubs and be like Hot 97's own, Power's own, DJ Envy.
Yep.
You know, and you get your money, you hustle your money from being on the radio. You know, and you can parlay other situations, not necessarily the salary. Is that correct?
Correct. The money at the station didn't matter. It was, like you said, doing the parties in the city. So what we decided to do was we said, one thing about Hot at the time is the DJs really didn't fuck with each other. It was the black DJs on one side, the Spanish DJs on the other side. Heavy Hitter and Pitbull.
Hot 97 was like that?
Yeah. Yep. There was no...
You knew that?
Yeah. I mean, you know, Pitbulls was on one side. They never did anything together, really. So now when me and Pro Style got together, I was like, Pro, you bring me uptown to the Latinos, I bring you downtown to the niggas. And that's what we did. Remember, I had Pro at BB King's and all the strip clubs, and then he had me uptown and all the spots uptown. And now we just coming together. And then he also had Orlando. I was doing Miami. We were going back and forth. We just started taking over. And they came to me and said, yo, the station's doing well, but we need a morning show. Every good station needs a morning show. And I was like, nah, B, I'm not doing the mornings no more. And they offered me a check.
Also, hold up. I'm going to let you talk. But also, the money is in the morning show.
Correct.
In every station, the primetime money is in the morning show. Is that correct?
Yep, correct.
Continue, my brother. Go ahead. Continue.
So when I got over there, he said, I want you to do mornings. And I was like, I'm not doing mornings. And he was like, well, we'll offer you this. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Then when they said, they gave me 3 times what I made when I first got there. I said, you know what? I bet, let's do it. So I was like, well, who's my team? And he was like, Charlemagne the God. And I'm like, nah. And he's like, why? I said, that man got fired 4 times from 4 different radio stations. I was like, I'm not doing that. So then he was like, nah, trust me, he's changed. I said, okay. Then he said, Angela Yee. I said, fuck no. He was like, why? I said, she's on Sirius Radio. I said, she got a potty mouth. She's going to be cursing. She's going to get us fired. He was like, no, I trust me, it's going to work. And they put us together, and it worked. And the reason why I think it worked was because I always say we were all sides to somebody main. You think about it, Charlemagne was Wendy Williams' side. Angela Yee was Cypher Sound side. I was Miss Jones' side. So nobody really attacked the, I need to be the star, I need to be the star. We all kind of were able to alley-oop off each other, so there was never no jealousy. You know, when we first started the show, I was the biggest. Then Yee was the biggest. Then Charlemagne's the biggest. Like, it's no animosity because we all do it together. It's not like somebody came in the show as, this is the Steve Harvey show, you know, or the Wendy Williams show. This was a collaboration where it was like the Breakfast Club, and we all had our share. So it came to the table well.
You know, Charlemagne, behind his back, I still talk rappers that have beaten him up. Mm-hmm. People really mad at him for over the years, especially from like the Wendy Williams. Like, he was like, you know, he was trying to come, you know, I had to explain this to somebody recently who was like, he called me like, yo, Crack, let me holler at you. You ever had a problem with Charlemagne? I said, yeah, he dissed me a bunch of times. You know, what could you do? Like, hey, he said, I sold out, make it rain. I did, you know, it's Charlemagne. So I said, listen, bro, he's different now. You know, he was on the come up, and he was trying to do whatever he thought was going to take him till he could come up. He's a different guy now. I stop at Charlemagne because I say to you, I see Charlemagne recently, since Joe Biden won and Kamala Harris, like talking like, yo, Kamala's my president, or, you know, we all progressive, and right, we want to see them do something. But, you know, Joe Biden picked Kamala to be his vice president. And Charlemagne going at it like, I don't think he's right with it right now. I think we should let the man stood beside Obama. Right. He stood beside Obama when civil rights leaders wouldn't stand beside Obama. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you the truth. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't the truth. I'm just thinking you should talk to your brother and be like, yo, you know, you're very influential, man. Maybe, you know, do you agree with him? I kind of feel what he does. He never went against Biden. He just said, Biden, I got a lot of questions for some fuck shit that you did before. Like you hurt a lot of black people with the 94 crime bill, and some of them. Since he's been elected. Since he's been elected, Charlemagne has just said, yo, you're in. Okay, we celebrate it. Now we got work to do. We have too many times we've given these candidates our vote and they did nothing. So now that we got Kamala Harris in there, somebody that I speak to and that I'm friends with and that I frequently talk with, now let's see what you do. And that's all his stance has been. I don't think it's been anything but that. Yeah, somebody in the comments said he will never be happy. I agree with them. Yeah, Charlemagne he'll never be happy. He's gonna ask. Yo, big up our brother Charlemagne and Angela Yee. But yo, so this show explodes. I still ain't get to, cause you love your wife. Like, yeah. How did you meet your wife? Like, I gotta go there because, you know, too much black and brown families don't appreciate family. Mm-hmm. Staying together and working through problems and working through situations or whatever. How do you meet your wife? I met her in high school. She was a sophomore, I was a junior. She's from Brooklyn. So she transferred from Brooklyn to Queens and transferred into my high school. And when she did, at first, she didn't necessarily like me. She's like, yeah, whatever. Because I was only 5'2". So I continued to charm her. Like,
to continue to charm her, to talk her. I was the one, you know, meeting her at a locker with a flower. I was the one writing little notes, meeting her at a locker, walking her to the bus, taking her to her dollar van at the time. I did that. I was consistent. And it worked. We started dating in high school, and we never looked back.
Man, shout out DJ Clue, he's in here. Shout out Mr. C, he's in here.
What's up, C? What up, Clue?
Shout out to damn, who else was in? They all in here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been with us since high school, right?
Yep.
I've had, and tell me if I'm out of line.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one-on-one conversations with you where you tell me how much you love your wife. This is guy talk, like behind the scenes, not in their face, and you ain't got to impress nobody. You talking to Joe Crack, and you like, yo, I fucking love my wife.
Yeah.
I want to be with her forever.
Absolutely.
And so I guess I take it because I'm similar. You know, I've been with my wife 26 years, and when I met her, all I had was a mattress in the apartment. No money, no furniture, no nothing. I had a boombox and a mattress. And I ain't even have a curtain. I would use like this 10X robe I had as the curtain. So she was with me through the real. And so that's why somebody who might not know my story with her could look at her and be like, damn, look at all these diamonds she got. He a fat nigga. She probably fucking with him for the money. They don't know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I feel is I like to spoil my family. Absolutely. I like to give my family everything they want. That's what I'm here for. And I'm not just my wife, my whole family.
Yeah.
Kids, mother, father, whoever, right? Is it similar with you in the way you spoil your wife?
Yeah, I've been with my wife 26 years. We've been married 19. So yeah, I'm the same way. When I say I like, you know, it's when I was with my wife, I'm with you. We had nothing. Like when I used to carry the mixtapes, my wife used to hold the club in her hand just in case we had to beat up a bootleg or something like that. Like she was everything. She used to drive the car. Like she was there from the start. When I graduated to college, she was making the money. I wasn't making no money. She was making the money. But it's like in the industry, when you first get in the game, they want you to be single, right? They don't want family. They don't want to see that. And that's what I fell into that trap like. But then when I realized this is the motherfucker that holds me down thick, thin, when you're stressed, when you're not stressed, when you fucked up, whatever happens in this world, she is there. And I'm like, and I'm watching other people's relationships. And I'm like, they ain't got what I got. So I'm like you. I'm like, no, I want to give her the world. I want to give my kids the world. I don't want them to ever feel anything of not being able to have or having to work or this, that, and the other. I want them to do what they want to do. And I just want to make it a business. I always tell everybody, if my son wants to be a sanitation worker, that is fine by me. But I'm going to teach him how to own a sanitation business. Hey, here's 10 trucks. Now this is what we do. And that's all I want for my kids. I just want them to have anything and not stress for anything.
I feel the same way. You know, I've come to the point of where I just want my kids to be regular people. You know, you don't have to live after me. You don't have to live up to whatever expectations you think or anything like that. I just want my kids to be happy and create their own lane and just steroid it and help them. But, you know, let them be them. You know what I mean? Many times our kids want to be like us, or we want our kids, we have a vision of our kids, and we want them to be what we want them to be. And I just want them to be happy.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Just be regular and support them with whatever they do.
Absolutely.
Also, my daughter, she's only 14. I hope she finds a guy in the future, if she decides to ever get married, that's better than me, that respects her, you know, disrespect her and treat her like a queen. That's all we could pray for.
Yeah. That's all I pray for. And with my wife, When I say I love her so much, like, you know, I have fun when she's with me at the club, or we're rocking, or we're drinking, or we're on vacation, or like she's my everything. When I say she's my everything, she is my everything. That's my baby.
Yeah, every man that you're going too far. Let me take
That's
a
my
lot. Let me
that's my
get a take a lot, but no, yeah, you hurting some families right now. I want to inspire these guys over here still trying to act like they, you know, yeah.
no,
No, but it's what we need. Hip
absolutely.
hop is what we need. Black community is what we need. Too many times. And hey, I got two baby mothers before my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And too many times, shout out Jack Thriller, too many times it's so easy for a man to have a baby. You know, there's some men out there that's just baby makers.
Yeah.
That they go and see a girl and say, we would make a great baby together. Give her a baby and never give her a fucking dollar. Keep it moving.
Right.
Shout out to DJ Eric B. And that's not me. I gotta be around my kids.
Absolutely.
I gotta be with my kids. And so it's so easy for anybody to just be like,
yeah,
I'm gone. Fuck that. Oh, word, I'm out. And then you leave the woman with the baby,
mm-hmm.
and your baby don't have a father, don't have that guidance. And sometimes I don't advise nobody to be miserable in a relationship, but sometimes it's so much easier to just break up than be there as, you know, as a real father and work through the shit. So I respect what you're saying 1,000,000%. So how did you get rich? Because I know money envy. Correct. If anybody knows Joe Crack, they know this guy gets to the bag. He's not. If you see me in the corner, you know, anywhere, you know, yo, this guy, he'll get to the. I don't care if it's in Africa, whatever, and you get to the bag.
Right.
Right. And there's other DJs, and there's some DJs who do. And I want to say, give you a acknowledgement and appreciation for when COVID happened and the DJs couldn't DJ in the clubs and all that, and you did the telethon so that the DJs, you gave it to the less fortunate DJs.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Thinking of the DJs. And so at what point you got caked up to where we see this envy that his wife has every color Birkin bag. He lives in mansions. He has different cars every single day. How did that happen?
Well, there's two things that I always did. One, to have many different side jobs, mad different side hustles, and two, don't spend the money unless it's gonna work for me. And I'm gonna break that down, right? Let's say, what's the most amount of money you spend on private jets?
Me?
You.
I fucked up. I blew the bag when Lean Back was. It's the biggest mistake I ever did. When Lean Back was out, I spent like $4 million 1 year in private jets.
Okay, so like for instance, private jets. I would never in a million years pay for a private jet unless I had to. You go to Miami, it's 15, 20 grand. I'll fly Delta first class, 1,200. You know what I mean? On the way back, I got a round trip for 1,200. You just spent 30 grand. That's $28,000 right there. That's in my pocket. So that's one. I never fly a private jet unless somebody else is paying for it. Unless I have to. Unless it's a place where I got to get there fast. Other than that, nope. All these artists I see, private, okay, it's cool, it's cute. But that 30,000 you spend on that, and sometimes you have to. Maybe you're that big and you have to. But that 30,000 you spend on that can go to an investment. That can go to your kids. That can go to so many different things. Most people don't see it like that. That's one. I make sure I work for my money. And when I say side hustles, most people are looking for the big bag. I want to get this money right now. Me, I'm a nickel and dimer. For instance, let's talk about all the businesses I have. I'll just go through some of them, right? You know, I got a water company, right? I have a soda company. I have a t-shirt line. My guy versus my enemies, I own that. I have real estate, the seminars, multiple income from tenants, a juice bar. I have trying to think, a management business, and a couple more. The podcasts, film production, which you'll see in a little bit. But I have multiple businesses, right? Now let's say that multiple business, let's say each one of those businesses bring, I'll say $10,000 a month. Each one of those businesses, right? 10,000 a month. That's 100 grand, let's say, a month. You times that by 12, that's 1.2 million. I never even touched the turntable yet. I never DJ. So that's 1.2 just on those businesses. Now, when you DJ, you can calculate. I DJ 3-4 times a week when there's no pandemic. I travel everywhere. So if I leave New York, I'm not getting paid $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. You can do the math. I'm sure the IRS is watching. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, get that money. Let's say that's 1.2 million a year on the low end. You calculate that. I didn't tell you about real estate. I didn't tell you about the flips. I didn't tell you about the tenants.
The real estate, like let's because I've been seeing you. Look, you have habits. I have habits.
Correct.
But they're not smart habits. You might play it smarter than me because I always think you got to hook up for everything, right?
Right.
Nah, I think like you got a car hookup. You got to, like me, they you know, Fat Joe got to pay that dollar, right? But at the end of the day, jewelry, which I love and I spend my money on, really doesn't come back the right way. You don't make no money off that. Cars, they devalue, but we all like fly cars, right? But you have figured out this real estate game. Shout out to your man, the fat Spanish kid. What's his name? Caesar?
Caesar, yep. Flipping New Jersey.
Flipping New Jersey. How do you connect with him and try to tell us about these properties and how you flipping them and how you can inspire the people? Because the truth is, you're doing something amazing. You're trying to show people how to generate wealth.
Right.
You know, for a long time, we get the bag, we run and get a watch. We run and get a car, the badge is gone. Right? Shit fucks up, we get no more money, we selling the watch and the car.
Right.
Right? When we could have opened a business that will continue to make money for us. So tell us about the properties and investing and why people should do this.
And before we do that, I just want to say, I always try to make money off of something. So the cars, I have 16 cars, right? Think about it like this, and this is going to stick in your head. When I did the car show in New Jersey, we had 7,000 people. If it wasn't for COVID, we had one booked in Houston, Detroit, Atlanta, New York, New Jersey. We had 4 coming down the pipeline. 10,000 a pop. You do the math, you know how much it costs to get in? Plus sponsors, Lincoln Tech, Pepsi, Sephora, every car show. So now the cars that I love purchasing and
so what you say is you don't get high on your own supply. You turn your habits into profit.
Correct. Correct.
I got to put the fire signs here. I've never done that my whole show. I got to do this for a second because people need to learn about that shit. You turn something you learn into something you love into profit.
Right. Not only that.
So you say Fat Joe loves sneakers. He's a sneaker collector. He opened 2 stores, turned it into profit.
Correct. Now, one thing, I love you artists, but I hate y'all. Y'all are the moodiest people. So it's like, if I call Fat Joe and say, yo, Joe, I need you at a club or a performance. It's a situation. Envy. I need this. I need a green room. I need this food. I need flowers and the luxurious pineapples that only come from Puerto Rico. That's what you're going to ask me for, right? 50 Cent. I need this. I need that. Cardi. I need this. I need that. Now I go, Joe, I don't want you. I just want your car for one day. I'm not promoting you. I'm promoting your car. 5th, I just need one car. Cardi, let me borrow that car for one day. Offset, can I have that car? Lil Babe, baby, can I have that car? Now I got your cars. I don't need y'all there. I sell out just having the cars.
No, that's brilliant.
Because you're gonna, as an artist, you're gonna be like, I'd rather give Envy my car for a day than have to go to his club.
See, I'm a little bit different than them. I show up at your club.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You know, Joe Crack, man. I love DJ.
No.
I show up.
Crack goes to
I
every
show
club,
up.
every party, every situation. Yeah, no, you definitely do. But that's my mind frame.
Just a curveball. Because I think the most classic moment in the Breakfast Club was the Birdman put some respect on his shit. Did you think that was going to turn physical?
No.
So you just thought that was like hip hop?
Physical between Birdman and Charlemagne, possibly. But you remember,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
When all these artists come to New York, they usually have a New York person that holds them down, right? So the person at the time that was holding Birdman down was my guy. So when all these dudes come up there and they talking crazy, most of them are coming with a New York street dude that is my guy. So I'm never thinking, oh my gosh, what am I gonna? That's the least from my.
If they want to pop off, your guy be like, yo, that's my guy.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So it was never a moment. It was never a moment on the Breakfast Club that you felt like it might turn into something.
The only time that I was a little nervous was when Fredro from Onyx was on the radio, and he blacked out on Charlemagne.
Fredro, I didn't see that one. Fredro from Onyx blacked out on Charlemagne?
Blacked out crazy, like crazy. And that was the one I felt nervous for. If you get a chance, look at it. And the reason I felt nervous is because when an artist comes to the station, no matter who they are, they can say they don't need it, but they need something. They need their record played. They need the station to support them.
You don't need it.
Fredro don't need it. So it wasn't like, oh, I can't do this because my record. He's like, whatever. So I thought that was going to go there. But other than that, everybody else, I didn't really think about it. But Fredro, I was like, Fredro has nothing to lose. He doesn't care about a record. He's ready to pop off. So that was the only one.
No, you're absolutely right, because there was plenty of times I wanted to hurt some DJs. I wanted to hurt Ebro a lot of times, man. A lot of times. And I had to go into deep prayer. One time, Becca stopped me. Becca's called a peace truce. Me and him, we met. But, when Hot 97 was the only station, they was really playing God with dudes' careers and all that. And they was arrogant. And they was cocky about it. And they was this. And then you got a guy like me, who obviously, I'm from the streets. I get it in. And I'm like, so I'm doing what you said. Yo, Joe, you need the favor. Don't blow the kid. Don't politics, this. And I kept telling myself that, but I had to keep talking myself off the cliff. Cause I was like, how you let a guy like this? We don't let the gangsters who kill babies tell us what to do. How we letting this guy? And so I was very conflicted. Cause I'd be like, yo, how the hell Joe Crack walking around with 100 dudes on demon time, and this guy's like, yeah, and he was very cocky. And I thank God I never did it. But I swear to God, I had to pray on that. At least 3 times in my life, I had to pray on particularly Hebrew. Pray, get on my knees and be like, God, please guide me, please stop me. This is hip hop. We gotta chill. Angie hate me for life. You start thinking because once you do it, it's like you foul.
Right.
And thank God it never went to that. And he's a good dude. God bless him. So you here now, and you never got to tell us about the houses, which is really important.
So what I started doing is when I got my first check, my first big check in the music industry, I bought a crib, right? My first check came from DJ Clue. Gave me a $75,000 check. That was the sign to Desert Storm. So when most people were going buying cars and jewelry, I went and bought a crib. Now,
1 second, they keep telling me to stop stopping you, but you know, whenever I stop somebody, it's because I get it. Who is Fabulous signed to? Is he signed to DJ Clue and you?
no, he signed Clue, Duro, and Skane is Desert Storm. I was just
Clue, Duro, and Skane is Desert Storm. So he was signed to them.
He signed to them.
Okay.
Signed to them. When he popped, Clue created his own label at Sony and signed me, Fab's brother, Paul Kane, and an R&B artist. Signed us three. I put out my first album through them. I think I did 65,000 the first week. And back then, I did a flop though back then. 60,000 first week, flop. But, and he put my album, I got my first check. The first house that I was able to buy was like an hour from New York City. Because that's all I could afford. But when I used to do the clubs at night, I used to fall asleep on the way home. I had to pull over, take naps. So we sold that crib. So after living in that house for 4 months, I think I bought the crib for like $400. When I moved, after like 4 to 6 months, I made $100,000. And I was like, just like that. I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to get into. And then I started getting into the housing game. But I didn't know what I was doing. So I would buy a house, move in it, live in it, sell it. Buy another house, move in it, sell it. But I was making so much money. And I was like, this is better than music. I ain't got a DJ. I ain't got to deal with artists. I ain't got to go with 100 people in the club and one of my dudes get into a fight and it's always on you. And I started doing that. Then the market fell. When the market fell, I had about 4 or 5 houses. And the market was really like messed up. So I did everything not to have to sell those houses. I would DJ bar mitzvahs. I would DJ bodegas. Whatever I had to do to make sure I could hold all of my houses, I did that. And then I sold all them houses and I was like, never again.
I lost $5 million in the recession on the houses.
See?
On homes alone, Jersey, Miami, all that. That shit, that recession shit, we was just me and my wife was just talking about that shit. Like, yo, like, you know, that recession shit was, and it ain't even our fault.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know a recession was coming. They always told me, yo, invest in properties. And I lost so much. And so how do you get into the situation you got now? I see you doing seminars. Mm-hmm. I see you like, Joe, I just bought a school.
Yeah.
I'm flipping into like, you guys are doing some things out there. You and homeboy Caesar.
Yeah. So I got into housing crazy. Angela Yee used to come to Detroit. She has a boyfriend in Detroit. So she would fly to Detroit a lot. So when she came back, she was like, yo, these houses in Detroit are so cheap. They're like $10,000, $15,000. I'm going to buy a couple of them. When she said that, I was like, you know what? Let me go to Detroit. I went to Detroit and I'm looking at the houses and they were bigger than the houses I had in Queens. Like huge and selling for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. So I bought like 3, right? And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to buy them. I bought them instead of buying jewelry, sneakers, bottles, flying private jet. I bought these 3 houses. After about 6 months, the prices started rising and rising and rising. Now these properties I paid $15,000 to $20,000 for was worth like $200,000 each. Not fixed up, not touched. They're still beat up, disgusting. It's just a great block. So I just started, trying to find out how to do it. And I wound up selling those properties. I made like, I would say maybe 2.25 off of each house. I started saying, all right, I'm going to make some money. I'm going to do this in Jersey. This kid named Caesar called me. Yo, I'm Caesar. I do houses. And at the time, everybody was calling me. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. He was like, no, I really do this. I have this amount of properties. He was like, come to my office. So I go to his office. My wife, me, and him. He's telling us all this. He was like, you know what? Let me show you. Let me take you around. So I'm like, all right. He's like, no, come in my truck. I'm like, nah, B, I don't know you. I'll follow you. He was like, no, come in my truck because I got to explain. So my wife is like, nah, we're not going in this truck. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to go. So we go in his truck and he started showing me all the properties he owned and how he did it, what he paid for them and taking me inside and he knew his shit. So I was like, you know what? This is something that I'm going to fuck with. And I just started doing it with him and he showed me how to do it and we just started buying properties. He started teaching me how to do properties and the rest is history. We started doing seminars because there was so many people that looked like us that were doing these seminars and charging people like 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. They would do these seminars and have credit card people outside the seminars to give people loans. And I'm saying, yo, if you got 10,000 to give to a guy for a seminar, you can use that 10,000 and buy a property. So let me teach you how to do it. I'm gonna bring everybody to you, the credit guide, the mortgage guide. I'm gonna bring hard money lenders, attorneys. I'm gonna bring them all to you. And we're gonna break down how to work it. So that 10,000, you ain't gotta spend no more. And I did it just to help people, just to piss those people off. And it started with like 20,
and you charge for the seminar, but
yep,
way lower price?
$99. Now people say, well, why do you charge? Because I had
no, man, you gotta charge something. Motherfucker gotta eat.
Right, that you gotta pay for the speakers. And I was like, we didn't care. We was just trying to help people. And it grew from 20 to 50 people to 100 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 people at this seminars, where it just got ridiculous and it became a business. So now not only are we flipping houses and getting tenants and all this other stuff, but also have this business of webinars. Then we started getting offers from TV. And the offers from TV would come in and about, can we do a show? And then book deals started coming in. This is just all based off of real estate. So during the pandemic, that's what we were doing. While everybody was, I couldn't DJ, wrote a book. I couldn't DJ, we filmed our own show. I couldn't DJ, but we were still doing webinars online and teaching people how to do it.
Yeah, Envy, we similar. I wrote a book while the COVID was, the Fat Joe book, based on my life. I've been wanting to do it my whole life, but never had enough time.
Right.
Never had time to sit down to do it. But I finally just finished my book, and I got his book with Rock Nation, Random House, and the book phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And then we found a way to make something happen in the COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And with me, similar is like how you doing your own seminars. With me, I'm president of the Urban and the Latino division of Market America. And it's a company that teaches people how to become entrepreneurs and own their own businesses for a small fee, $300, and you own your own shit. And we got over 400 people who are millionaires in the business, and they make that residually. And if they die, their kids will get it in their will. So it's willable. So, we float around. We all over, Envy. Me and you, we all over trying to make things happen. I'm going to ask you a question I ask everybody, and leave Fat Joe out of it. Who's your top 5? Does Envy have a top 5 dead or alive favorite rappers?
Yes. Of course, it's Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas, right? Those are my 3, hands down. Now, when it comes to 4, see, these are always tough. Jadakiss goes in my top 4, right? Now, top 5. That's a tough one. Top 5. As of right now, in my top 5, Kendrick Lamar's in that top 5.
Yeah? It's great. I mean, everybody, Kendrick Lamar is definitely top 5 in this era for sure. If I had to make a top 5, he would probably be number 1, right? Of this era. You know what I mean? But top 5, when you start thinking about all the Rakims, all the
Big Daddy and puns and all that, but
the puns, the Rakims, but that's dope. Your top 5's your top 5. My brother, I love you. I thank you for coming on here, man.
Thank you, brother.
I mean, finally somebody got to interview you.
Yeah.
How can we find out? Tell them on here how you find out about these seminars.
So the seminars we usually do twice a month, and we usually go to different towns. So we usually go to Atlanta, Detroit, Orlando. But because of this, we've been doing the webinars online where we've been interactive, showing people how we break down the different houses and things like that. And I also want to say one thing that's different too is so many artists come to me with money, cash. Yo, invest this, buy this house. And I will never take their money. And I tell everybody the same. Even you, I told you one time, or even French Montana, French called me earlier. I said, I will show you, but I want you to come with me. I want to take you to the house so you can see what you're purchasing. I want to show you what the wood feels like if you're putting wood down or laminate down. Or I want you to see for yourself so you know what you're doing. Because if I just do it for you, how am I helping you? Like, I shout to Booth. I see Booth, DJ Booth here. The same thing with him. I'm like, come with me. I'll take you to all the properties I own. We can go inside. We can see so I can teach you how to do it. Because if I do it for you, you can't teach your kids. You can't teach your man. You know what I mean? You can't. But now if I show you how to do it.
Almost like the concept, you know, you give a guy a fish, you rather teach him how to fish.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's a beautiful thing because for so many years, you know, I hate seeing our artists, you know, once they're past their hot time, you know, with no teeth,
yep.
looking fucked up, and it's all about they never made investments. They never diversified because, you know, believe it or not, it's a scary time for artists. For so many years, I believed in just show money. And thanks, when COVID hit, if I believed in just show money, I would have been homeless right now.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like I know there gotta be some artists hurting bad out there because all they depend on is show money, walkthrough money, whatever the case. I was like that for many, many years. Well, you know, I situated myself where I got businesses all over, different things working for me like that, where I've been able to be good. You know what I'm saying? So, my brother, I love you. Shout out the wife.
Thank you, brother.
She was going to make a special appearance on here.
No, I'm in Detroit. I'm looking to do another business, so I'm out here in Detroit. So I'll be back tomorrow.
Looking to do another business. Yo, listen, Emmy, let me ask you a question. That house, that new house, 15,000.
18,000.
18,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Indoor basketball court. Am I correct?
Correct. 9 bedrooms, movie theater, gym. It's something else, man. It's very special. Very special.
And you caught it for the right price. And was that your real estate sense where you caught it for the right price and you said, I can make this shit the flyest crib, and if I want to leave, once again, I lived in the indoor basketball and everything, I'll sell this motherfucker and make a couple of M's on it.
Yeah. I bought it for $7 million less than the person before me bought it for. So it's worth probably $4 million more than I paid for it. So now it's one of those things. I'll go, live there with my kids, and then when I'm done, I sell that house, and that's retirement on top of everything else that I'm doing.
Yeah, Envy, I almost bust a move like that. I almost bought Patrick Ewing's old crib. And it's in the right place. It's in that Rio Vista over there.
Exactly where it's at, yep.
That shit beautiful, but I said to myself, damn, I'm going to take an older crib. I'm going to have to gut the bitch out. I'm never going to be happy. But your shit is way better originally. Patrick Ewing's joint was like, I would have to like do the whole shit over.
Right.
I mean, the whole shit from the front had the, you know, the windows, the driveway, and I would have wound up, I think, spending more money than I would have made if I ever would have sold it.
Right.
My brother, I love you. Thank you for coming up on here. I'm glad that people got to hear you in the interview. We've been waiting for this for a long time.
The biggest. You know, you're my
biggest, baby. We the biggest, baby.
And one thing. I seen your house. Your house is something special. I seen your house. And when I seen it, I said, whoa. I said, Joey's doing pretty good in this pandemic because that house is nothing like.
No, Joey ain't playing with these people in the pandemic. Nah, he ain't. He ain't. I mean, yo, we the biggest in the game. What you want me to do, Ed? Yo, Ed, let me tell you something. It's about what he's referring to. When we ain't talking about, well, I'm building a new crib somewhere, and I don't give a fuck. Ain't nobody taking no U-Haul truck with them when they die. Nobody. The King Tut and them buried themselves with the golds, and they dug the shit up and took the gold. Like, it ain't nobody taking that shit with them. So if, you know, we gonna live right while we here on this earth, we gotta live right.
Absolutely.
So that's how I feel. I want to be in some fly shit, and I can't wait till when it's done to invite you and the wife. You know y'all coming, but we doing, shout out my girl Nina, my designer. You know, we doing some things in there, man. It's gonna look beautiful, man. God is great, man.
I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see it.
My brother, God bless.
All right, brother.